It's been more than 3 weeks since the last video about the master drop chances that I maximized. Today we're gonna have a look at 400 of each writs done for every profession. And if you are unsure what's happening here, I would recommend you to check out these two videos here that I'm gonna be putting up on screen right here. I just want to get through this real quick here. I researched all traits on 10 characters. I have all recipes for provisioning. I got all the alchemy and so on and so on. For all of you people who have been around for the channel for a bit longer, you all know that. But if you are new to the channel, then I highly recommend you check out these videos to know what I'm talking about. All right, today a new milestone, right? We have 400 lazy, or not lazy, but daily writs done. We're gonna have a look right away into the statistics. You can see here in the top, it's 2,800 in 44 days. I missed a few days. I'm sorry. I have the old data up here on my second screen, which is a TV, but whatever. And there is something I immediately noticed when I have been checking into these drop chances the other day. And that's that the surveys that I have been hypothesizing that they profit in drop chance, that is, if you have increased your master rate drop chances as well, it doesn't seem to be the case. It doesn't seem to be the case. Let's have a look at blacksmithing rewards first. We can see surveys 1 in 7.02, which is still better than 1 in 8, what we have been anticipating to see. But we have to acknowledge that this has been a decrease from 1 in 6.45. So it seems to be the case that the surveys seem to be closing down on 1 in 8. We will see that on the other professions as well. If we look at the sealed writs, we have blacksmithing with 400 writs done. We have 1 in 5.71. After 200, we had 1 in 5.56. So we are approaching a drop chance that seems to be quite accurate. Let's say 1 in 6 so far. If we look over to clothing, we can see surveys also 1 in 7.02, which was 1 in 5.41. So you can see right away that the drop chance for that seems to be decreasing significantly, and that's because I'm thinking that the surveys of 1 in 8, which was the anticipated drop chance, that essentially everybody on the internet, everybody who's playing ESO for a while has been saying it's 1 in 8, seems to be accurate. Okay, seems to be accurate. My hypothesis seems to be wrong. But that's what we do this data for, right? We make hypotheses and see if they are true or not. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case. 1 in 8 seems to be the chance that we are approaching here. If we have a look at sealed writs, we can see for clothing, it's actually quite significantly lower than it is for blacksmithing. Sealed writs is 1 in 6.78 as opposed to the 200 writs from more than 3 weeks ago was 1 in 6.25. So we are also seeing a decrease here. It might still be the case, okay? It still might be the case that the sample size is too small, and that's why we're gonna do more updates in the future. So subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, it's lowering a little bit. Enchanting sealed writs 1 in 5.56. It was 1 in 5.88. So hardly a change here. A bit better than it was before, but negligible. And for surveys, you can also see 1 in 7.69. Nice. Seems to be 1 in 8 as well. No surprise there. If we have a look at the upgrading materials, tempering alloy, drag wax, and kuta, all seem to be hovering around 1 in 3.33, and that's exactly what I have been anticipating as well. If we have a look at woodworking, rosin is 1 in 3.51, chromium plating is 1 in 3.33 exactly. So these chances, we have said that before, we can say it again though, are not affected by all the measures you can do to get better chance of master it. A quick shout out to these legends here because they decided to become a member of the channel, and I really appreciate that. If you like my content, there's a link in the description where you can become a member. I would greatly appreciate that. Don't worry, you don't have to. I'm just telling you, it exists. So, let's get over to alchemy. The sealed writs in alchemy are 1 in 6.56, which were 1 in 6.06. So we see a decrease here quite significant. Nah, maybe not quite significantly, but quite a bit. And for surveys, we are currently looking at a 1 in 8.33, which was surprisingly a 1 in 7.14 in the past after 200 writs done. So we see a significant decrease in that regard as well. For provisioning, we can see that the sealed writs go for 1 in 7.02, which seems to be lower than blacksmithing and clothing, albeit just not too much, right? And for surveys, you can't get any for provisioning, so let's switch over to woodworking. Surveys for woodworking seem pretty low for me, 1 in 909, but that will increase and narrow down to the 1 in 8 as well. Where are they? Yeah, here they are. Sealed writs, 1 in 6.78, which is comparable to the sealed writs for clothing, and by comparable I mean like exactly the same. Blacksmithing is still having a better chance, and I'm unsure why that is. It could still be just a margin of error, to be frank with you. But other than the margin of error, I am unsure what these changes could be, because blacksmithing and clothing both have access to the motifs that I have collected. So that can be the case. Also, they have the same amount of trades, and I researched all the trades. So maybe you have an idea why there could be a difference, or do you think it's just margin of error? Let me know in the comments down below. And if we look at jewelry crafting for last, we can see surveys are terrible for me. I'm running out of platinum dust, or at least I did before I did the refining data video. Ever since then, I'm buying platinum dust and refining it. Surveys are 1 in 9.52, so a bit lower than 1 in 8 that we are expecting. And for the master writs, we have a 1 in 5.71, which used to be a 1 in 5.26. So a slight decrease, but still pretty freaking great. As for last, let's have a quick look at the percentages. Yes, I gave you 1 in XX, but percentages are a bit easier to digest, right? So we can see legendary upgrade material is essentially 30%. If you do a daily writ, you get a chance of 30% to get a legendary upgrade material through all professions, right? So no surprises there. Surveys are around 15%. Maybe they are going down to 1 in 8, which should be what? Math. 12.5% should be 1 in 8, right? Yes, 12.5 should be what we are seeing, which we are not quite yet. It's 14.25 still. Sealed writs for blacksmithing is very high, 17.5%, whereas for clothing it's 14.75%. As I said, this is a difference of 3% that I don't really see a reason why that should be the case. As I said, maybe you have an idea, but I think it's just a margin of error. For sealed writs, for enchanting, that's 18%, alchemy it's 15.25%. For provisioning it's 14.25, and woodworking has 14.75, and jewelry crafting has 17.5. So 17.5 seems to be the highest drop chance we are currently having. Truth be told, I'm thinking they are all very comparable drop chances. So I'm gonna assume that all of these drop chances will close on to each other. So yeah, the next update video for that should be making that even more clear. So yeah, we have 2,800 writs completely done. The total reward value is 29.2 million, but take these rewards with a grain of salt, right? And quest gold alone is 1.85 million, so that's quite some good money. That essentially it's just for free if you do your daily writs every day. And yeah, and with that we have it concluded for this update video. Unfortunately, I can't give you some crazy amount of information that it would be overthrowing all that we know already of the data for daily writs. But if nothing at all, we're at least confirming some data, so that's also something. If you want to see more stuff like this in the future, I would appreciate a like, and a subscription is also free. And yeah, with that, I leave you with, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have an awesome day. You take care of yourself, and I see you next time.